Hey everybody, my name's Eric. I'm the Chief Engineer for the Oshkosh S-Series. Today we're going to do training on the different drum modes that are incorporated into the Oshkosh S-Series mixer controls. Let's get started. In the Oshkosh S-Series, the mixer control keypad is found on the lower left-hand dash panel. This is where you'll find the three different mix modes that are built into the Oshkosh controls. The modes are Transport, Mix, and Load mode. We'll dive into more details on each one of those modes. The first mode that we'll speak to is Transport mode. The primary use case for Transport mode is when you're driving to and from the job site. To enable Transport mode, simply press the Transport mode button once. This mode will keep the drum at a constant speed and is preset from the factory at 1.5 drum RPM. This constant speed will be held regardless of vehicle and engine speed and can help prevent overmixing and unnecessary drum revolutions while driving. A secondary transport mode can be set up as well and is activated by pressing and holding the transport mode button for 3 seconds. This allows for an additional transport speed to be set up different than the primary if needed. The default secondary transport speed is set up to be 3 RPM from the factory. Both the primary and secondary transport modes can be set up for speeds ranging from 1 to 6 RPM. Another great feature of the Oshkosh controls is that the transport mode will automatically be enabled when the vehicle exceeds its configured mile-per-hour limit. This prevents any flat spots in the drum or forgetting to activate the mode. All these settings, including transport mode, secondary mode, and the vehicle configured speed limit, can all be customized through the overhead display. We'll talk later in the video on how to adjust those settings. Indicators that the truck is in transport mode can be found on the instrument cluster LCD screen, as well as the overhead display. To disable transport mode, you can simply just push the button a second time, manually adjust the drum speed using the joystick, or press the stop button. Next, we'll talk about mix mode. The primary use case for mix mode is mixing the concrete. To enable mix mode, there are 3 interlocks that must be met before mix mode can be utilized. These interlocks are that the parking brake is set, the transmission is in neutral, and the service brake is not engaged. If these are met, simply press the mix mode button once to activate. This mode will keep the drum at a constant mixing speed and only mix for a predetermined number of revolutions. The default settings for mix mode are 14 RPM drum speed and mixing for 70 revolutions. Mix mode can help ensure consistent mix quality and automate and time otherwise manual processes. A secondary mix mode can be set up as well and is activated by pressing and holding the mix mode button for 3 seconds. This allows for an additional mix mode speed and revolutions that can differ from the primary if needed. Mix mode can be programmed from 6 to 18 drum RPM and from 1 to 300 drum revolutions. The overhead display in the truck will note the number of mix revolutions that are completed, as well as a countdown from the total number of revolutions requested. Once the revolutions are complete, the truck will automatically switch into transport mode and slow the drum to a transport speed. An important note about mix mode is that the control software will automatically control the engine speed to only demand what is needed. It is not uncommon if the engine speed changes, but the drum speed remains consistent. As with transport mode, indicators on the instrument cluster LCD and overhead display denote that the truck is in mix mode. To disable mix mode, you can either push the mix mode button again, take over manual drum control with the joystick, or depress and release the service brake. Using the service brake method will automatically switch you to transport mode and the truck will be ready to drive. Lastly, we'll talk about load mode. The primary use of load mode is to load material into the truck. To enable load mode, the same 3 interlocks as mix mode must be met. The parking brake is set, transmission is in neutral, and the service brake not enabled. If these are met, press the load mode button once to activate. As mentioned with mix mode, the control software will automatically demand and control engine speed as needed. There is no need for any cruise control, PTO switches, or high idle. This mode will keep the drum at a loading speed until deactivated. Load mode is a 1-button press way to prepare the truck for loading. If the hopper is open, load mode will automatically close the hopper to ensure its correct position. The default factory programmed speed for load mode is 18 RPM, but can be adjusted if needed through the overhead display. To disable load mode, you can either push load mode button again take over manual drum controls with the joystick, or depress and release the service brake. Using the service brake method will automatically switch the drum from load mode into transport mode, and the truck will be ready to drive. Each business is different, and that's why the Oshkosh S-Series Controls has built-in Fleet Manager settings that allows each customer to customize the truck to their needs. Through the overhead display, transport mode, mix mode, and load mode can be customized to fit your needs. To customize these parameters, you will first need to log in as Fleet Manager using the Fleet Manager setting. Once logged in, navigate back to the options screen and the Fleet Manager settings will be available for adjustment. Scrolling down through the screens, you will see the different customizable settings for transport mode, mix mode, and load mode. Any of these settings can be adjusted to meet your business needs. These are the 3 different mix modes. If you have any questions, contact your local sales rep.